let's talk a bit about the economy. So how we can actually still maintain the consumption plan, how we can have our app deployed worldwide, how we can eliminate the cold start, and how we can still maintain the reasonable total cost of ownership for that solution. So let's check this out. First of all, here I'm on Azure portal, I'm showing you the front door, so let me open this backend pool again. As you can see here, I have two hosts in my backend pool, but what is more important here is that this pass. This is basically my health probe. As you can see, it will call the API health function, it will use the get method, and it will call it once per 30 seconds. So basically 2 times per minute. Okay, so let's dive a bit more deeper. So this is the dashboard for one of those hosts. This is only for Western European host. So what I can have here, let's check this guy first. So I have the 30 minutes of logs, and the granularity of those logs is 1 minute. This is very important. And first of all, let's check the function execution count. As you can see, granularity was 1 minute, so basically on average we have more or less 300 calls, 300 invocation per minute. This is really important for us. Then the response time. As you can see, on average it was like 21 milliseconds, so let's just keep that in mind. Then 21 or maybe 25 milliseconds on average, that will be the response time for our health probe. The next part is memory working set. So how many RAM we actually consume. As you can see here, on average, that's around like 41, maybe like below 50 megabytes, let's say, on average. So those 3 numbers are extremely important for us. And let me show you why. The next part is the Azure calculator. So here I have my Azure function for West Europe using the consumption plan. So first of all, the memory set. So we agreed that we're using less than 50 megabytes, basically memory for our health check and or keep alive function. So here the minimal billable amount of megabytes is 128, so we are actually under that limit, which is fine. Next, we agree that the response time is on average like 20-25 milliseconds. Again, the minimal billable amount of response time is 100 milliseconds. So we're actually again under the limit, which is fine. The next part is a bit more trickier. So now we need to understand actually how many invocations we will have per month. And for that, let me use this simple formula. So what I actually have here, as we agreed, as we basically seen actually on those graphs. So first of all, we have 300 invocations per minute. Now we need to multiply it by 60, and we will know how many invocations we will have during an hour. Then we will need to multiply it by 24, so we will understand how many of those we have per day. And then I will multiply it by 30 to understand how many of them I will have per month. So the result is more or less 13 millions. So for now, let's just use 13 millions as a round number. And let's go back here and let's say I will have 13, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 13 millions invocations overall. So this is what I will need to pay for my health check, for my keep alive probe, to basically keep that consumption function always up and running. As you can see, the overall monthly cost for that will be less than $2.50, which is actually extremely awesome. The only one trick here is that on each and every Azure subscription, you always have a particular limit of the resources. So basically, the calculator here also considers that limit, so that is why the actual bill will be a bit different. But we can easily emulate that. Let's say that we have not host, but let's say that we have like 10 hosts in total. So I will just add 10 here. So now we have 130 millions invocation. So this is our Azure function basically deployed across 10 different regions in Azure. And here we're talking about $45. So basically 4.5, less than $5 per region to keep that function always up and running with our health prop. So this is really cool. This is really awesome. If you will have a VM, you will be unable to get a VM in Azure basically under that amount of money. You will be unable to get a VM under $5 per month. And also for the VM, that's much more complicated to configure all the auto-scaling rules and stuff like that. So this is really how the economy works. And in addition to that, what I also want to add here is that Azure Functions, they also came with the premium plan, which can scale much faster, but of course it also costs a bit more. What you can do, and what we actually implemented in our project as well, we basically created 2 functions. We analyze the pattern, basically which country uses basically those scans more often during which times, and then we dynamically, which is also available through the Azure Management API, we dynamically change the pricing plan from consumption to premium during, let's say, business hours. So on business hours, we can have even more resources if needed. So this is what you can do in Azure with Azure Functions, and this is how the overall economy for the Azure Functions works.